The MLOTSHWA brothers are here. Welcome to the Hustlers Corner. Smoother. Ladies, you already know. They call them good looking. Some people are saying they're intelligent brothers. Abanye bathi bastout. Some people are calling PENUEL sellouts. Some other people are calling PENSON a toxic. What is this? Whatever you guys call them, but them MLOTSHWA brothers are here. And I'm excited to have both of them here. How you doing, bro?
Excellent. I was with at the same time.
Bakuphethe kanjani? Afriforum bakuphethe kanjani?
Akumali esidlayo ku-Afriforum ngadlala.
Nenzani nje Afriforum nawushaya around office la khona nokuya?
Yabona. So I went to the Afriforum. Hello, PENSON.
Hello, PENUEL.
How are you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm excellent, hey. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Greetings to your mother. So I went to visit the Afriforum head office last year. I'd been wanting to visit, and I just wanted to see vibe, you know, nokuthi mawungeni racism uyayizwa yini. I was hosted by an amazing young gentleman called Arends van Sail. He's very passionate about South Africa. He's from the Western Cape. They gave me a look around. They've got a stunning podcast studio and just a recording studio. So I'm hoping at some point, because they've got their own channel. Yeah. I don't know if people know, they've got their own Afrikaans Netflix.
So are they going to start featuring you on the Afriforum TV? That's what they call it, right?
I'm not sure what it's called. I'd be lying. So I'm a nobody at Afriforum. A lot of people, when I said I'm contributing, it's like donating to the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund or to Gift of the Givers. I'm a board member or becoming a chiller. And you're like, no, Machida, I'm just contributing. So I'm not a member. I'm not involved with management at all. I'm trying to do my bit in making the country better, along with all Gift of the Givers and the like. So I know I've been called a sellout, and it's a tough pill to swallow because I genuinely care about the majority of black South Africans. I'm hoping that in the way I'm moving, somewhere, somehow, people understand what I'm trying to do, both black and white. And we need a different way. The old ways are not working in fixing this country. And we're seeing things getting bad at a fast level. Load shedding, and soon we're going to have water shedding. Anyone who doesn't know, you heard it here first. Water shedding is coming.
Does it hurt you that people call you a sellout? Some people,
yes.
Not say people.
No, let me be honest. It hurts me. I come from a background where I'd like to think I was passionately pro-black. You know, I wanted black people to win because black people have been losing for so long. Some of my black heroes are Jesus Christ and Bantu Bigo, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, you know, Chris Hani,
PENSON MLOTSHWA.
But I looked at all the ways that the past black activists have moved. And in my head, I'm like, we can't move the same because it obviously isn't working. You know, and when I look at how societies have been built, they've been built through collaboration. You know, and it's not to say you must collaborate with racists or bad people. It's to collaborate with productive people. You know, Herman Mashaba now is the leader of Action SA. And when he built Black Like Me, he built it with a white Afrikaans partner. If you look at Nelson Mandela when he came out of jail, a lot of the funders of the ANC at the time were the Oppenheimers. I'm not sure about the Ruperts. A lot of big Jewish business people were funding him. Dostane, you know, of which to funeral cover by Kokela every month. They were collaborating, trying to build a great country. And a lot of the people that judge me as well, that call me a sellout, work in white companies, buy from white retailers, support sometimes even foreign white businesses. But they have the audacity to call me a sellout when I can articulate why I'm supporting certain people. The Afriforum, I know the issues that people have. But I also know some of the good work they're doing. And for me, that's what I'm supporting. I'll be judged, it's fine. I also don't like talking too much about Afriforum. They don't pay me, I'm not an ambassador. So I can't be, guys, please join Afriforum, just contribute, because I'm not. On my side, that's a member. I'm one. I know so many others. A lot of them are senior politicians and senior business people or big business people, and they'll never say for these reasons. You know, but the sooner people like myself speak, the sooner even an Afriforum can be like, okay, this guy says it's Afriforum, maybe we should also change some of our, because some of us as black Afriforum members could say things like, we don't support Lento of saying we must bring back the apartheid flag. Why? Why are you guys taking EFF to court when you're not doing the same here? But obviously the bulk of their members have a certain agenda. I understand that. I've got my own agenda, and it's to build a better South Africa.
Mr. PENSON MLOTSHWA,
Uzwile ngikhuluma lo?
Skip on my card. How you doing, bro?
Courage, I'm great. Dog. Thank you so much. Hey, what a privilege to be here. Thanks so much for the platform.
Thank you. I think we had a great sit down, one-on-one. I was introduced to you, obviously, through PENUEL.
Sure.
I've been working with PENUEL for about a year now. Hey, time flies,
Yeah.
bro. It's been a year now.
1 year anniversary.
I love you, bro. It's been a
Jeez,
year.
some of your relationships don't even last 1 year.
Shots. Shots fired.
1 year. Thank you very much, Spuda.
It's been great learning from you, man. You've been incredible. And thank you very much for your humility and wanting to share knowledge, even when sometimes, you get bashed or you get dragged. But just the passion of wanting to inform the black child out there, we always appreciate you for that.
Siyabonga, Sibusiso.
Now you've
Thank you very
introduced
much.
us to this good-looking brother here. Who's older? Is it yourself or Penny?
Ulo Mubi.
Ulo Mubi. No,
Ulo Mubi. That's older.
How many years?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years,
He's
3 years.
older than 3 years.
He's older than 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
no, I'm just saying, with having that dynamic has helped, because the gap isn't that big. So it's from my side brought us a little bit closer. Whereas our sister, there's a 9-year gap between me and my sister. So it's literally 2 different generations type of stuff.
And how's your relationship with your older sister?
Younger sister.
Oh, she's a younger
She's
sister.
a baby. She's the
Oh,
last
okay,
one.
okay.
She's the last one. So we've got a great relationship. So the 3 of us, we're really, really cool, really, really close. So, with him being the oldest, takes control, and the rest of us just play supporting roles. So it's been amazing.
I saw after we did that one-on-one episode, you and I, we spoke about all of you being PENUEL, PENSON.
Yeah.
And you said your sister's name is Penrose.
Penrose.
So a lot of comments there. The guys are looking forward to seeing the Penrose because everybody's saying you also look good. They say he looks good. They're like, yo,
No. Account yakhe private. I can get.
The Penrose amongst the Pentons.
Oh, there you go.
It's very lame, but
Yeah, no, but she's amazing. She's also on her beautiful journey, growing into a young queen. So we're blessed, man. We're really blessed to be in the family that we're in, having matriarch being my mom, and learning from her, and watching her raise these 3 2 thorns in a rose.
Yeah.
So it's motivating for me as a father as well, and I also need to make sure I look after my little nest.
There's about 10 kids amongst the 3 of us on this table. There's 10 kids. He's got 6, you've got 3, I've got 1 for now. Maybe let's start there. Fatherhood.
That's something that's very sensitive to us. We love kids. I mean, if I had things my way, I'd be sitting on 5 already.
Same here.
When I don't know how many he'd be on, but we
condomize, guys, and abstain. Nishati qala before.
Zwile. So I love kids. I really do. And fatherhood is dear to me. It's very, very dear. Maybe it's me trying to live out the fact that we didn't have the father that I think we needed. Maybe we did in the greater scheme, but we didn't have that guy. We didn't have a strong male role model endlini or available to us. So now that you are given that opportunity to become that, it's not something that I take lightly. So give me, and we had this conversation where your kids become a garden. And you don't want other people tending to your garden because you don't know what they'll plant in your garden. You don't know what success you'll come back and there'll be ukula weed in your garden. You don't know what's going to happen. So I want to tend after my garden or look after my garden and ensure that I grow all the veggies that I want to or the flowers that I want to and make sure that it looks like this or at least try my best to. So that's how I see and view fatherhood in 2023.
While the podcast continues, can one of the team members grab a remote for the TV? I think the volume is not 100% muted. So I keep on hearing the sound and it's disturbing my ear. It's disturbing me from concentrating to what the guys are saying while the conversation continues. And because I got introduced to you through PENUEL, I'm sure I'm not the only one. A whole lot of other people out there as well. And then you also find people who are in the entertainment industry because maybe their father was Arthur Mafokate. We get introduced to AJ Mafokate. Or we get introduced to, I forgot Arthur's daughter.
So
Owami,
yes.
or because there was a DJ Sbu, a decade or 2 later, there is now a Warato, a Wawa. Does it bother you that a lot of people will always associate you with your brother? Because I've found a lot of people who come from such families are always like, Yeah, don't be telling me about my father, Maps Maponyane. Yes, he was great, but Max Maponyane was great, but I am Maps Maponyane. I am my own person.
As abantu abanjalo, they need to check their egos, eh? Like, I wish he wasn't here so I could actually talk open and when I'm honest, I grew up being Penwell's younger brother. And when you're young, you want to formulate your own identity, you know, because I don't know if I made the school choir because I'm Penwell's brother. I don't know if I made the sports team because I'm Penwell's brother. So you have that your whole life. You then, in your rebellious stage, trying to find self-identity, go against the grain. So if he plays rugby, I'm going to play hockey. If he is singing the choir, I'm going to be in the band because I want to find my own space so I can find myself. 2004, ne? He left. Now I'm by myself. Now that whole huge shadow of Penrose Brothers is no longer there. Now you feel alone. Now you feel lonely because you don't realize, Uguti, he took a lot of the shots. He went first, saw Uguti Nyathelwa Gupi, got burnt, took all the L's, so that now we can already go into a space where the door is open and the table has been laid. You don't see that in your younger years. I get to Rhodes. The first person when I got off the bus that I saw was my brother. You understand? I didn't have a place to stay. Come through, come stay at my place. Now good and one. You know, as a drink. Let's walk around campus. Go here. Don't go here. This is the right thing. Those girls are bad. Those guys are good. Those things are the privilege that I learned later in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You busy saying, don't call me Max, I'm Maps.
Yeah. I was just making an example.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. It's a perfect example. Would there, I don't know, be a Maps or at this level if it wasn't for a Max? You know? So you need to take that as well. You need to take the amazing 1,000 positive things with the 2 or 3 negative things that will come with that. There's spaces where people go, oh, Penwell, Tinas Kule, yes, Nati, black people, they'll call you by your sibling's name. You know, come on. We grew up in those spaces. I am him, he is me. So if people call me Penwell, I'm sure, doesn't matter. You know, and now he's in spaces. I first got to Joburg, my first time in Joburg 2013. I stayed in an apartment that he used to stay at. So now, do I have to pay a deposit? No. Next thing, he's like, here's a bed, here's sheets, here's in. You know when you get to a new city, you always knew, you don't know what's happening. I had already everything paved for me. I didn't have to go and look for the nearest discom. I didn't have to go and get a toilet paper. I had everything, from insipo to cooking oil. That's been the privileges of having an older brother. So instead of me constantly fighting that, how about I embrace that? How about I embrace Uguti? There's always going to be giants. You mentioned those Steve Biko, Norman. Those people, they took the bullets so that you can now walk through. If you want to constantly fight that and forced to find a you in a way, to me, spitting on all the hard work that those before you have done. And I'm lucky, Guti, I've got a brother who is 3 years ahead of me. And he can say, Dana, you need to start a podcast. Dana, look, you need to start recording some of your stuff. Why haven't you posted? It's been 3 days, you've missed a chance. Hey, dog, where you at? Have you done this? Have you done that? Other guys don't have that. Other guys don't have those privileges. I would have never been in this situation right now if it wasn't for him, you know, and 1,000 other situations that he's put me in. You understand? So again, to those who might be challenged with the sibling relationship, if they are the younger of that situation, embrace it. Take it in. Nothing is all positive, but understand, Uguti, if this is a soccer match, it's 10-1. And there's 10 positives to that 1 negative. And work it through with your sibling and grow. Again, this guy is one of the smartest human beings I know.
Come on, tell him again. You know, what?
Everything I said was a lie, guys. It's horrible having.
And Ice Cube says it well. He says, I didn't come all these years working so hard to be over here in Hollywood to not make it easier for my child.
Yeah.
his child did a great role on. There's a movie where they are bank robbing. I forgot what
With
that movie
50
is
Cent. I know the movie
Yeah,
you're
with
talking about.
50 Cent, yeah.
I think Gerard Butler as well.
Only at the end
Brilliant
of the movie. Only at the end of the movie you realize Guti, the character played by Ice Cube's child is actually the mastermind
Sure.
of the robbery. Great movie.
Name of the movie?
Name of the movie, guys? It's not
Den of Thieves.
Den of Thieves. Yes,
Brilliant movie.
brilliant movie. The boy
It
pulled it
Ice
off well.
Cube, yeah, act, I blind.
And it's good looking as well. Sharp boy, and I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
And he also had a role in what is that movie? Strictly.
Yeah,
Strictly. What is that movie? The Compton movie, man. NWA.
Fresh Out of Compton.
Fresh Out of
Is the
Compton.
is that the name of the movie?
Strictly Out of Compton. He's also
Straight out of Compton.
straight out of Compton.
Hey, we are cooker, baba.
But you guys don't watch
Siyakuka.
movies. You're supposed to have helped
No,
me
he
watch
I
watches
watch
movies.
movies.
I
I watch
don't watch
movies.
movies.
Straight
I
out
watch
of Compton. Ukuthi usuka strictly manje ngicabanga
Oh,
come
yeah.
dancing.
Strictly come
We're
dancing.
smoother.
Straight out of
We
Compton.
grew up watching the Wayans brothers. You know, so you grow up
Marlon
with brothers
and
and Damon and Sean and
Sean.
you
it was
know,
Marlon and Sean in the Wayans brothers.
in the Wayans
And then
brothers.
Damon
And
came
there's a
later.
you know,
sister
yeah.
as well, yeah.
So now when you grow up watching those sitcoms or whatever comedy, you know, and you have a brother, why are you not building with him? You know, why is it that you have to fight and break down doors that have already been opened? You know, and now you've got, yes, they're controversial, like the Tate brothers, you know, and they are working together. So mina ngazi ukuthi who are these people that are going between families and trying to separate them? Oh my God, you're not as smart as that brother, or you're not as good looking. I mean, sure,
Ngicela ukungena,
doesn't matter.
if you don't mind. So I was going to give a shout out to Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. Outside of the controversies, they are a great example of two brothers that work together and that constantly give each other props and affirmation, which we do as well, because we may not be blood, but we've become brothers now. Obviously, Prince Harry and William, for a long time before Prince Harry started simping.
You Harry. He's Harry. He's that
The
guy.
fact that he's saying it is already clear. It's only Sims that are always cartoons as well. Huey and Riley Freeman
On the Boondocks.
on the Boondocks,
Yeah.
and many other brothers as well. Our grandfather on our mother's side is an Indian man, or was an Indian man, Hussein Shota Amin. And I'm very big on studying family history and our genes and how environment works. And there are certain parts where the way they move young frustrator. And in Noguibuza, sometimes, why do I see things differently? And I think I've had similar thoughts. Ukoko Dineo has said, I think her grandmother, Oiwan, is Indian. I think Umandisa Mashiro, who was in the EFF and who's a political activist now, she said that I think she's got a grandfather, Omlungu. So I sometimes wonder if some of our deviations is because konikazi elingajwayelekile. But I want to say this, capitalism has broken us as abantu. It wants, usahlala kini? Ay, baba mothola your own house. Amandia, the blood, some of the blood that we have, they believe very much in building with each other for themselves. Ubaba Dr. Naidu is going to have a son who's going to be a Dr. Naidu, who's going to have a grandson who's Dr. Naidu, and bonke they have the same practice. Yeah, well, and for them it's a no-brainer. If this is, you've spoken about one of the, I don't know if it's a wholesaler that you've worked with, Yamandia, where it's Banbani and Sons.
Yeah.
Mina, automatically when I saw that, I gravitated. That's why even when you see the Maponya family, the Gunene brothers, I'm like, this makes sense for me. So as you move, it made sense to me, and it's something that me and this guy speak a lot, and his mom and his sister. How do we build together? That's why we speak about finding your tribe. It was very easy for me to gravitate towards you. Because you're about, let's build, asbam saneni, let's push this sneaker, let's push this brand, let's push this keeper. And I'm like, this is what it's about. And we can do that in the streets, but we must also do it at home. So that it becomes easy. Akon and his brother Upu. The examples are everywhere when you actually start looking. And it's like, it's not rocket science. Ntwana Denzel did the same thing where for a long time he didn't want to use his father's name. Abelungu banifundisa izinto nepotism, umpeto.
Yo, what rubbish.
That's rubbish. It's my mother, so I'm not. Ayikho lo. Khona into ebizwa nge-disclosure. Belungu, and they're good words. If you are disclosing that my mom is a CEO here or my father's a, as long as it's written on paper, you can go all in, Baba. And obviously bazokusiza backdoor. Sasithola ama plate. Antu akho ethi osala. Me. Utholi plate. That's how life works. It's not corruption, nepotism. If you are competent and if you're the right person, do it. The only reason I'm here with my brother, me, is because I think he's a great mind. I think he's smart. He's different from me because he's got traits that I even disagree with, but that other people love. And I think he's a great leader. He speaks about me fondly, and look, we affirm each other. I've seen in the comments, abantu besho think, hey, nina njalo, niyatshelana, niyathandana. And we're teaching you something. Let's normalize. We can't be hating. We have, let's change the mind. We were never like this. So he speaks about me and how he loves me as a brother. I never had an older brother. And he's my older brother. There are spaces he goes to that I would never. Lomchitu pathinchiza 24/7. Tandipa mutandi. So namsekumele ngilandele bhuti wami manje isibhamu manje. You know, and I love that. I think it's beautiful, man. Like I said, shout out to Andrew and Tristan, and they're not the only ones. If I were to apply my mind, we could come up with so many. Major League. We had Konarabo DJ that came before them. I saw someone posted them on Twitter.
Revolution.
Revolution. We've had brothers, not just twins, Le Twins. The Wayans brothers. Come on.
Oabe twins.
Man. There's too many. There's no reason why we can't be building together. I mean, I just appreciate that as our older brothers, no pensin, siyabonga ukuthi usimeme emzini wakho and bring us into your space so we can build a bigger family that can show other people how families are meant to move.
I like that energy, bro.
Thanks.
For me, it's positive, and it's building, and I also think it's exemplary for a lot of other people out there who might be siblings. There's a lot of people like that, sisters and brothers, older sister, brother, or twins, or ganjalo ganjalo. And I believe in that type of messaging as well. Like, people shouldn't feel bad.
No.
As long as you are competent,
Sure.
and if you are forced by the law to divulge and work together, help one another, open doors for each other.
If
together.
you can't manage your own family, why should we assume that you can handle a Fortune 500 company? Like, that's how I see it. I try and go as granular as I can. You know, we spoke in the earlier episode around if you can't look after your health, you know, it tells me so much about who you are, you know, and you look in families where you know, and money is temporary. So right now you might be successful, but are you? You're not in my eyes, you know, in the true sense of what I deem success to be. You know, so if you can't look after your family unit, if you can't look after you and your nucleus, whatever it may be, if you've got a wife or your kids, if you can't look after that, and then you rope in your siblings, then you rope in your mother, your father, your grandfather, how are we ever going to be able to look after South Africa as a whole? You know, because that's what it takes, in my humble opinion. You look after you and your household, and then assist to Makelwane, and in Makelwane you guys look after your neighborhood into community, province, country. You know, so for us at times we're so lost in looking there and failing here. You know, I think Jordan Peterson speaks about it. You're busy looking at the speck in people's eyes, and you forget now you've also got one in yours. You know, so it becomes that.
I think that's a biblical scripture.
Is it a biblical one?
I think so.
So it becomes that. But again, if you are not in a good terms with your siblings, sit down, find out why. Why is it? Why? Where is that coming from? You know, why are you mad when your brother's scoring goals? You sitting on the side of the field angry that your brother's scoring goals. He's spraining his ankle. For what? You know, why are you not celebrating his wins? Because again, him winning is the family winning. You know, imagine being Lionel Messi's brother. How amazing must that feel? You know, and support him where you can, instead of constantly throwing shade. Yeah, Ronaldo's better than you. It doesn't grow us, and it just breaks us apart.
Sad news, we've just lost AKA. Over the past couple of weeks, I've also just been introduced to his brother. I never knew his brother. But you can just see the hurt in his eyes, losing his brother. But then again, you look at both of them, you're like, wow. Like, AKA had such a dope brother, because you can see with the boy, I don't even know what he does.
Stefan.
I don't know the name.
I think it's Stefan.
Stefan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, man, it must be, I obviously don't want to dwell too much into the AKA issue, but you can just imagine the loss in his eyes. It's like he's lost his twin.
Yeah.
You know, somebody he's known all of his life.
Smuda, do you have siblings?
For me, everybody's my sibling. You know, no umuntu omnyama, you grew up with what they would call ngesilungu cousins. For me, nabuka abantwana basekhaya labo. Usisi nokuphiwa, you know, upalisa, unokuphila, uthando. You know, for me, I look at them. Sometimes I even say, he's my younger brother, he's my younger sister. But from my mother's side, I'm the only child. But because I grew up with all of these cousins of mine, I grew up in a big family. So that's all I know. I know having brothers, sisters, having ukuthi nangiphume esikoleni ngiyaku-break bean ngasiqedi sonke isinko. You know, because I'm sharing with others ngoba abantwana basekhaya. And then we grew up like that so much so that even nasemgwaqweni nandlala ukuthi ayi lo umntana kubo, you know. Other people find out later actually that they're not your blood brothers and sisters. But because of, you know, your relationship so close, and how you grew up together, it's like ngathi abantwana bakini. There's even people who find out now as we are older. All these years when I thought you first born mama.
Sure.
But from my mother, I'm the only child.
I wanted to give a shout out to the females, as much as Siamachita on this platform, the Williams sisters, as an example. You look at people like Solange and Beyonce, you know, Tandi Somazwai. There's a lot of females as well who are siblings who are doing amazing work.
They're actually three sisters. It's Nom Samazwai, Tandi Somazwai, and Tsigi Mazwai. Sorry, continue.
No. That was what I wanted to say. So it's not just brothers, there's also sisters. There's these sisters, I don't know if they're in Ethiopia or somewhere, they're the fastest siblings in the world. They do long distance and middle distance. Very beautiful. I don't know if Dibaba or something. I think it's Dibaba sisters.
Okay.
Stunning. If you just go on the internet and you type in fastest siblings in the world, it's beautiful. I think they're Ethiopian, but somewhere in East Africa. So I said, Ubaba, Jacob Zuma's daughters, that are in entertainment, stay in class. I think Ukuku used to be on Istingo. I think it's Ukuku. Now she's the one that produces all The Wife and other shows. I think she's involved in Ushaga that's coming soon. She's got one of her sisters does script writing. There's another one who also works somewhere in the company. So we need to celebrate families that are working together.
No, continue, sure.
No, I'm agreeing with him.
You're talking about the Taba brothers?
The family.
Or is it Taba family?
The family.
Tell us more about it.
In my taxi in KZN. But there's a lot of families in taxis. No, it's just to echo what he was saying.
Yeah.
For us, someone has whispered in our ears, you go and become a dentist in Cape Town. You go become a teacher. It's Anin. And I think that's, if you look at pack animals or a herd or whatever the case is, if we see ourselves, and this is what we spoke about over this weekend, if we are a herd of Springbok, and when we are tuba, you know tuba ngesingisi?
Getting lost.
No tuba.
I don't know. To
get moody. To get moody. So if you get moody and get grumpy and you decide, let me leave the herd and go sit there by yourself, what's going to happen? That's where the hyenas now come in. You know, and if you look at our sisters, you look at our brothers, most of the time the world hits them hardest when they've decided to move away from the support structure. You know, tuba, get angry, but here, come back here. We'll sort you out. When you're sick, you've got flu, we'll look after you. You know, we'll give you water, we'll do those things here. But for you to go and die alone, that's when you get depressed, that's when you get anxious, God forbid, that's when you decide to commit suicide. Come back to the family unit, you know, and that to me is so important. I look at the challenges that I face, you know, and the first person that I call when I'm going through the most is this guy. Donna, how do I do this? How do I maneuver? You know. And chances are he's experienced a similar challenge and he's got shortcuts. Whereas before, I thought I knew better, you know. And then you try and you sit on a problem for 6 weeks, 5 months, a year. Lapo, you've experienced it, you move like this. He's experienced, you move through this. By the time I come to you guys and say, guys, as in not thinking I'm experiencing 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll say, no, Penson, do this. A day later, it's solved, you know. But that comes from here because you don't know the intentions of someone outside of here. I'm not saying that everybody is wanting the worst for you. That's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, who do you have? Your family.
Your family, yeah.
You know, same example. We use the same example. I sound like a stuck record. When you are sick and you're lying on that bed and you need someone to wipe your ass, who's going to be there? Your family. Yeah, ama slay queens awaseko. Ama fuckboy awaseko. Ama bless awaseko. All these cool people. You think your boss is, okay, sharp, your boss is looking after you right now. But when everything is said and done and you're lying on that bed, it's us. Yithi sokungcwaba, yibe sobeshaya ipicnic for short. So you might as well take those people now and bring them here. And uba workshop, guys, this is what we need to do. So what are you good at? Okay, I'm good at being a dentist. Okay, come be the family dentist. We'll look after you. All of us will go and support your shandis. Or what do you do? Oh no, I'm in Nespas. Okay, so tenga Nespas. And let's build each other somehow, But we have to keep it here. Other communities are doing it. Why can't we do it? Start family and then slowly branch out. So that's my 2 cents on that matter.
Sorry,
Oh, and I just wanted to say shout outs to Ntando Duma and her sister. And I just found out this past weekend as well, Guti. So I'm a fan and I follow a brother who his name is Zamanimbata. Little did I know Guti Zamanimbata, according to what I've just heard this weekend, is actually brother to Nomzamo Mbata.
Okay.
I didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say shout outs to them as well.
Man, shout out to siblings that are just siblings, cousins, abantu that come from the same cast. Tina Spume Newcastle. And I think at some point I was thinking, Melis, should I get together or something of all the people in Newcastle that are doing dope things, young people in entertainment, in music. I've said before, El Vovo Tirango, Uspesihle Vazi, there's a lady Usbatle Tole, Nather Bay, Anele Zondo.
Yeah.
They just popular, but they are business people, they are politicians, they are soccer players from Newcastle, man. So just shout out to everyone who comes from the same family, whether it's blood or the community or whatever, that are pushing, doing well, and more importantly than that, are putting their people on. We need to normalize that.
The Mudiselle sisters as well, still are in the entertainment business because obviously they're more popular, they're on camera.
Yeah.
Still dwelling on fatherhood, I'd still like to bring that to the conversation. Has his older brotherness helped in some sort of way in helping you parent the way you are parenting?
Yes.
Before you answer,
Oh.
before we move on, bengifuna nje ukubeka kancane ngomndeni wakagcaba.
Sure.
So we are sadly very deprived in this country of certain success stories and families that I think would inspire so many people. And the reasons are generally obvious. Sometimes the way you run your business, if you are exposed, khona abantu abakudlela umona. Khona abantu abafuna ukukuyisa ukucindezela. We saw Hamilton Dlovu, who was a businessman, bought his family a Porsche, bafaka Instagram, and then I think SARS, business like a lawa. There was also another gentleman, angazi noma Sam Holdings, in Mpumalanga, that was doing trucking, etc. Now he was wapapa, wahamba ngeconvoy engasuka umphansi ukuya kwiDurban July. So then obviously he started getting a lifestyle audit, etc. Umndeni wakagcaba is not very well known. It's mostly known for bad things, which is kind of sad. I know Mandla Gcaba, who's the patriarch of the family now, has done one interview, I think, with Ikakasi FM. Abantu bangamba bayocheck on YouTube. But umndeni itself, the little bit that we know, that we can find, is kwakukhona ubaba, wayesemateksini. I'm not sure if umkhulu wayesemateksini. Ubaba got gunned down, sadly, because it's a very violent space. Kwakukhona obhuti about two, I just don't know the other brother, but kwaSalumandla, the brother himself also got gunned down. Ubaba left his wives, because abantu beyithembu. Baba left his wife and his children. The brother left his wives and his children. Umandla's got his wives and his children. But when he lost his father and his brother, he took on all the wives and all the children as his responsibility. So, Banama taxi, I don't think anyone has a number of how many taxis they have. I've heard that they've gone into meter taxis as well. I know that they've partnered with a very popular businessman in Newcastle, Uparuk. So in Newcastle, there's 3 families that are known to be wealthy. One is Oosthuizen. They do trucking. Nokubona matruck abati Nida. Mpumalanga and KZN. There's another family called the Jamaluddins. They have car dealerships. They have a very popular scrapyard in Newcastle called Tommy's. They do farming. They own property. Amazing family, 3rd generation, I believe. And then there's Uparuk, who I think is self-made. Uparuk partnered with the Gcaba family. Amabhasi abizwa nge-Transnet. Sorry?
No, you hadn't explained what Uparuk, what's he known for.
So amabhasi awe-Transnet, unama-truck, angazi noma ubizwa ngephuma phambili. And then he's got hardware stores and other businesses as well. So I think together, last I checked many years ago, babe namabhasi, cishe 2,500 buses. Njoba ngisho ama-taxi awabalwa. You can imagine, because abantu abakwaZulu ngempela, because they related to ubaba uMsholozi, uJacob Zuma. I think uMandla Gcaba is the nephew. So abantu besintu, I can only imagine iy'nkomo. I've met some of my mentors have introduced me to obaba abantu abamnyama abaney'nkomo 3,000 iy'nkomo, 5,000 iy'nkomo. And in my head, I'm like, I want to tell the whole country about this. But by should say, mfana yazi ngendlela esisebenza ngakhona. Once ekhona umsindo kuba khona abantu abazidlela umona, and it's not just abantu abamnyama. Khona belungu, khona mandiya. Once they hear ukuthi ubani bani uneyinkomo unalokho, they start doing these funny things. But for me, as notorious as the Gaba family is, because people say they're violent and whatever, the success story and ukuzotha nenhlonipho khona, especially when you listen to uMandla, you know, it's beautiful. Another great family is the Duma family. They have Zamalwandle Logistics, and I think they've gone into mining now, and I'm friends with the son Upesheya Duma. These are and these are just from KZN. As I said, Kona the Gnene brothers as well. We know the Maponya family. We know Mike Nkuna as an example.
Shout out to Ulwandle Duma, sorry, as you're talking about Upesheya,
Sure.
and how he's plugging into the family as well, because he just started a security company.
Ulwandle is Pesheya's younger brother.
Yeah, Ulwandle is Pesheya's younger brother. You know, but again, sorry, just carry on.
Sure, Bengithi nje, there's a lot of these families because we talk about the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers and the Banbani. La at Didier Vereniging, there's these dealerships, Zamandia, the Padat brothers. In Newcastle, we've got the Dockrats, who have an Audi dealership, but no steers, nama garage. These are families that have a plan and a vision. They don't want to make too much noise because, like I said, for obvious reasons, sometimes people want to sabotage what they have. But since you mentioned the Gaba family, I just wanted to ukubeka kancane because they are a family of lions, and I admire Omandla and some of the people there so much. And I wish those families and others in time can be documented further. There's some Godfather Soweto. There's so many stories of entrepreneurs. Esingawazi.
Our Bob got
So-
from law, may
Aye, Baba.
so
So
the Godfather of Soweto.
So nje ya bengifuna nje ukubeka nje ngocaba nje because a lot of people don't know, and lasikwazi ukuhlephula okuncane nje sibeke abanye sebezohamba bayothatha research bayise phambili.
Yeah.
You were asking about fatherhood.
Was I carry on?
No, yeah.
Please.
I was
Yeah.
asking about, yeah.
So just to jump on that around family business, I think you can't isolate. The reason why the Gaba family is so powerful, uzoqala kuba uye kuba. You know, the reason why Bagatuma is so powerful is uzoqala kuba uye kuba. So I think that's what I have learned from this guy, Guti, kicking and screaming. Because a lot of things that he has said to us as a family, we didn't understand at a certain time. Well, at least I didn't. You know, so one of the things that I have learned, because the question was around the way that he moves as an older brother, how has that impacted me as a father? A huge one is there's certain things that I have seen in the world that I agree with, good or bad, doesn't matter, but I agree with it. And this is what I'm going to implement blindly. Nyathanda Ntandi, there'll come a time where you thank me because I can see benefit for it. You know, so it might be read this book. This book you're going to read. If you're not reading, I'm going to talk about this book 50 times a day. You know, he spoke about Rich Dad, Poor Dad a billion times before I even picked up the copy. You know, but uzoifunda ngengane. And then you read and you're like, oh snap, wow, I've benefited. You know, so whatever the case may be, it's that thing of being passionate about what you love and wanting those that are in your space, in your world, to also be passionate and to grow from that. You know, so I believe in self-defense. So what do I push my kids to do? They wrestle and they fight all the time, controlled. They train. So by the time they open up and actually can celebrate with each time I was actually being correct in this, you know. So the way that he views money, he doesn't view money as ting a Gucci slop. He views money as a tool, you know, and it's a bridge between where you are and where you need to be, you know. So don't fall in love with the bridge. Step over it and move. And he's been implementing that for the longest time. His whole concept of minimalism, you know, those are the things that I'm taking into the space. Everywhere. You know, then you're like, okay, guys, everybody has 5 toys that they enjoy and spend time with. Everything else is noise. You know, let's minimize the clutter, not just physically but mentally as well. Those are things that I'm learning from him that I am applying every day as a father. You know, so again, many I didn't understand and I might still not understand. Many I didn't agree, I still might not agree. But there's so many things that I've taken. The passion, the being assertive in what you want and not being ntege. This is who I am. This is what I want. My brother is the most confident guy I know. He says things that you're scared to think of. He'll say things where you go, wow, did he really say that? And he'll say them publicly because he's confident in himself. Take that assertiveness, take that confidence, that surety, and be that father. if that makes sense. And let your kids see who you truly are so that it gives them the confidence for them to be who they truly are as well, if I'm making sense. The day that they decide to say, Baba, I'm vegan, they stand up and they say it confidently. The day they decide to say, Baba, I am transgender, they don't hide in a closet. They say, this is who I am. You know, so those are the traits that my brother has that I've adopted, or at least I'm trying to adopt, and then hoping that I can pour into my kids in my parenting style.
Before I move on from fatherhood, any
Sure.
contributions you'd like to make?
So I had 3 children before he had his first one. Unkunz Malanga, who's turning 13 this year, uZulu, no Africa, who are both turning 10 years old in May. Because our father, no matter so you know, ngesintu, there's a certain way of being ubaba that was disrupted by colonization and apartheid. So because of that, babethu bakhishwa emzini bayiswa to the mines and to the farms and to the factories, and we missed out on a lot. And what happened in that gap is that abelungu bafika bafaka isikolo, bafika bafaka a Western way of living. And from there we jumped on and we were taught, this is what a father does. You must teach your child how to ride a bicycle and take them out for ice cream, which are not traditionally things that ubaba umZulu, for example, ubaba umuntu omnyama would do. So my father was half present, let's put it that way. So there were a lot of things we learned from him. But most of what we learned from him at the time was not Western. So we thought, and when I had my first child, and maybe the other 2 as well, I was trying to live up to lento of being a perfect white father.
TV dad.
You know, ngifuna ukushintsha amanabukeni, ngikhanda formula, ebusuku, shaka nje. And by the time I had Africa no Zulu, I'd already seen that I don't think this is where I'm best used. I don't think this is where as a father. Even later when I'd read stories about fatherhood, amachita, hey, my father never told me he loves me. My father never hugged me. Who taught you that? Because I can tell you, time late, video, we were chilling with my 3rd boy, Ushaga, and my brother was holding him close, you know. No, this is me telling him I love him. So, hey, because that is our love language. It's not a violent love language. And also, he knows that that's love. That's your father telling you that's yours. That was the way our fathers told us stories. They weren't reading Once Upon a Time, Little Red Riding Hood. That was how we bonded. So I realized that, look, there's a masculine and a feminine way of doing things. And I think as I was getting older, I was changing. And this guy was studying me. By the time his first born Zita came, already he was like, PENUEL. And I remember Mama Ingane had issues with that. No, but you must. It's like, hey, that's as far as I'm going to go. If you go to his Instagram, he's teaching them. Our father used to make us fight. What's clubs of boxing? So he's making his boys fight.
Yeah.
Again, that's child abuse. It's not. So he's not going to say to Umawabu, because you realize this is me. No mama must do what she's doing. So there's that. And I think as he gets older, lento ye gap after a certain point, I say gap. So I might teach him stuff, but he's teaching me. Whatever the case may be. So we need to, especially in Remnyama, we need to have conversations on parenting, fatherhood, motherhood, because what's happening now is, especially females, Nibugi TV, Oprah says, okay, aksasu Oprah manje, angazi ubani balalela ubani. Ubani bani says, mese nifuna ukopela izinto that are not ours, because we have different struggles. And if you're going to hold, let's say, your black man to the same account as a white man, does your black man have colonization and apartheid and the exploitation and oppression and the stealing of resources of others? So that you can be like, yeah, but look at white people, the fathers are present. The fathers are present because ufander mervu uyazi ukuthi umthembu emsebenzini ukuthi ajuluke. Umama, the reason she's present is because usis banbani, she's not busy babysitting someone else's kids. So let's have a discussion about realistically, and then let's go back to isintu where Maye ngekho ngikhona mina. Iy'ngane zakho zofundiswa yimina. Nami mangingekho nami bambezami. Yabo, there was a time when his boy Uzita was having a school thing, babe semsebenzini no mama. Wathi bangicela. Sicela nje uyosupport umfana because it's a parents' day. Ngathatha unkunzi no Africa sashona khona ukuthi don't ever feel like you're alone. You've got family. Khuleka sikhona. Futhi ngathi ungafika na wonke umuntu kuthiwa why is your family 20 people? Because we roll deep ekhaya. Ngaphandle khona ogogo khona omkhulu sizobraya. When ulethe just your mom and your dad, I come with the whole squad. So we need to re-engineer what we were taught about parenting and especially fatherhood. And we in a space and a vacuum now where ubunsizwa absekho, ubudoda absekho, and it's a requirement that some of us rise further. Ukuthi we're not just men, we are what's going to be labeled toxic men because we've realized the world that oppressed and exploited and stole from us, and the world that still to this day is raping our women, that is beating our women, that is forcing our women to work in spaces they shouldn't be working in, that is forcing our kids to study in spaces. Those people require a man that has an ability to enact extreme violence in order kwazi ukuthi khona ibhube esikuloya musa. Yabo makuzothiwa kwacaba kuthiwa no kwaPENUEL. NakaPENUEL ugade ukuthi kwenzakalani lapha ngoba hey sengathi khona ibhube eselihlala lapha yana nokubona abantu bekekeleza mabedlula ngoba khona nje khona kodwa ngazi ukuthi inkonkotha. Kodwa nje iyasatshwa kuloya muzi like no ingoba khona indoda lapha. Nabafana bama behamba. My father was big on this ukuthi mangekho ubani ubaba la ekhaya. Ngithi hayi wena ubaba la ekhaya. So we need to enforce that because we lack fatherhood, and where there are absent fathers for whatever reason, those of us who can be fathers, even if you're 25, you don't have an older brother, you don't have a father, I'll be your father. Even if I'm 28, ngikukhuliswa mfana ngoba mina ngakhuliswa. Ngizokukhombisa indlela ihamba kanjani ukuthi wenza kanjani. Isibhamu sibamba kanje intombazana mawuyishela ungayidluthuli. Mele ube igagu uthi hey baby manje awuthi kubambisa oplastic. Ungavela udluthula hayi indaba inamba. So it's a must that in today's time, especially, we raise ubudoda and fatherhood is going to have to change if, especially as indlu emnyama, we want our families with batutu in this world we have.
6, 7, or 9 episodes ago, I interviewed a brilliant young sister by the name of Khanyisa Jaceni. She is doing really well in the music space. She's also now become an influencer. She's got a very big TikTok account.
She's my favorite TikToker.
She's too dope.
After us, of course, but she's my favorite TikToker.
She did after the interview we did, there was a clip of hers that went viral over the past couple of weeks where she says, you must go and watch a lot of successful people, how they treat their family, how they treat their parents. And then I think on the conversation, we dwelled on the scripture, so when that clip went viral, and even on my platforms, and I saw a lot of comments on it, I actually thought majority of people, if not all, were going to agree with her.
Yeah.
Actually, it was mixed reactions. A lot of people were saying, yeah, you guys are speaking from a position of privilege.
Yeah.
What if, like, and people even pointing themselves out, people like us, some of our parents are not there. What if you've never had a good relationship with your parents? And a lot of information came out. I was like, yo,
yes,
so many people don't get along with their own folks.
Facts.
And, you know, there's a saying that blood will always be thicker than water. How have you guys handled conflict in the past and having to avoid 13 years ago, we don't even speak. You know, there's families like that where you get even surprised. Yo, you have not even spoken to your own brother, your own sister for 10 years.
Conflict. Lo mchito wangecha ngehalavu. Lo mchito swang a shovel.
Yeah,
I think today I'd probably be like, nasi isikala angigenga khona. Kwangecha ngehalavu lokho, cishe ngakuthuka. Kwangecha ngehalavu lokho.
How old are you guys?
We were young. Well, I was young. I was probably 10.
Oh, okay. So you guys were playing.
We weren't playing, we were fighting.
Real fight.
No, I was done.
We used to
fight.
fight.
Because I knew Guti, if I don't do it, he's going to beat me up. I think people will look at a relationship and assume that people don't fight. They assume Guti, everything is hunky-dory. They always agree, sugar, it's roses. No, that's not the case. You know, you need conflict. You need conflict at times to solve problems so that we can move forward. And a lot of families, it will be like, he likes Fanta Orange, I like Iron Brew. Okay, hambi yena mna ngizwali. That's no. Thathi Fanta yakho nami thathe Iron Brew yami sihlale together. and let's actually work and move forward. And I think what has helped us is that we talk all the time. People don't understand how much my brother...
And we're older.
And we're older.
We're also older.
Yeah, but we've got 33 years, 34 years, 34, I'm 30, 37, of us just fighting. You know, we slept in the same room, we did everything together. Day one. So now you guys have to figure it out. You know, you guys have to share. Everything we are share engine because that was going to have an attitude. So there's constantly that. We've had our fair share of we've had all of that. You know, we've had all of that. You know, maybe it's because we've had umama that we both felt that we need to look after, or because we were in the same school, I don't know what it was, but we've constantly communicated. You know, so I think the trick here or the solution here is to communicate with family. Yes, then sit down. Try and understand where Koko is coming from. Maybe Koko was raised differently from you. Maybe in Jobusho, we're talking about love and hugs. Maybe her love language is different from yours. You know, and make her, Koko, I appreciate maybe more ngathi angithanda. Yabona Koko anginankinga nalokho. Oh Koko uzothi but mina mangithanda ngokuthanda kanje. Okay, I understand. And that brings family together. Verse Uktuba. I spoke with that analogy around being that antelope that is away from the support structure. That's when it's easiest for the devil to take control. You know, come back. So it might still be tough. We might still argue. We might be sitting in the car arguing from here to Durban and back. You know, but we're in the same car and we're talking. And we never allow the other one to money. So Nisho, if I say something that's wrong and he gets angry, I'll send a WhatsApp. Hey, I was out of line, I'm sorry. You know, if he, vice versa. You know, we don't have an ego. No one is too cool. You understand? And we've got a mother who also tries to facilitate when she feels like, okay, no, sharp guys, it's gone a little bit too much. Please try and fix this and this and this and this. But we've always, well, now as we've gotten older, slonpane and slonipe the fact that we are different. We do like different things. But at the end of the day, he's my older brother and I had to respect him. And I think we've lost that.
It's a beautiful episode on siblings. I actually want to make it last longer, but I also just want to see how much you guys would like this conversation to go on. So if you'd like for us to have a part 2, this is where I'm going to cancel the episode. If you'd like for us to have a part 2, write in the comment section and say, Smooth, PENUEL, PENSON, come on, that episode was too short. We want another one. So let us know if you do want another part 2. I'm glad to actually have them together again. And let's discuss more things. There's a lot of things to discuss. But I just wanted to start here on this brotherhood that they have. And I'm also just so fascinated with the relationship that they have, even on videos where I watch both of them interact and talk about stuff. And as much as they are brothers and they are fathers of amazing children, they also have got their own belief systems where they don't even agree on a lot of things. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. If you guys do demand the second or another part 2 of this one, I would like to have another one of this one. And some of you guys who might have some topics or you'd like for us to discuss over there, put them there. And I think maybe let's park it here for now. Maybe your last words to the people out there, siblings.
Siyabonga Spusiso. I wanted to touch on what he was saying. I'm going to keep it brief. I had a longer answer. Shout out to both my parents. My father, uzwelakhe Phineas MLOTSHWA, waziwa ubaba rider emadadeni 4. Baba wezinja, wayefuya ama-greyhound, ecoacha nebhola. So my father was an amazing leader and coach and manager elokishini, and he loved young boys. That sounds bad in today's term, but he loved building young boys. He was a mentor to young boys in many ways, and we got to see that. So even if he wasn't teaching us, the way iy'ntwana zakhe zebhola ney'ntwana ezingelayo, how they looked up to uPristo. My mom was a school teacher, you know, and then became a deputy principal at some point. So she was also a leader and a teacher, and I think my mom is Utansilo Alina Amin. So I think in both of them as an example, they've taught us a lot. And not only that, us ourselves, I think you also are a proponent of this. We work a lot on self. We do a lot of self-work. And I think not just siblings, not just family, but even in your romantic relationships, even in your work relationships, you have to do a lot of work on yourself. If you go and you read the books and you go and you watch the episodes of whatever, if you're watching positive building content, by the time you go to your family, you're like, actually, we're carrying a lot of pain. I want to give a shout out as well to my father's children. I think my father, outside of the 3 of us from my mom, had maybe another 14 children. And MLOTSHWA just did a bad job of bringing us together. So I'm trying to bring some of my siblings together. Specifically, there's 3 brothers that we love very much. My brother knows them. Ontobeko or Sanele or Ospelele. Khona usisi wami that I've just found uSiphesihle, khona omunye usisi wami uSane, khona uLindo kuhle sikhule naye usisi wami. So I'm trying to build our family. I'm trying to bring my siblings together because it's nice to talk now, but to tell you there's a brother of mine who fucking hates my guts. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But because I understand what needs to be done, I'm willing to work on myself so that when they come with their page, I'm like, I understand your pain, but I'm here. Fight, scream at me, because I'll say kikehla. So scream at me, but asiye phambili ndawonye sobona sifika kuphi. But I just want to thank my parents, man. Shout out to MLOTSHWA for uyitholele ikhaladi nyana lasekuvukeni. Washela chama saphuma. MLOTSHWA siyabonga noma usushonile mfo. Siyaqhubeka nje nomsebenzi wakho wasishiya nawo. Omningi kodwa we carrying it on our shoulders, and shout out to my mom, man. She's one of the dopest mothers I believe on the planet.
Humble to have met your mother. I can see where the handsomeness comes from.
Definitely for my mother. MLOTSHWA Pova mania. No, I'm kidding. My father was a good-looking gent.
Yeah.
Soga. Babembiza ngo
Ndela Maso.
Ndela Masoga. His women loved him.
Yeah.
So we're suffering with the same thing. We're suffering with the same thing. And mina ngikwazi nokushela kodwa ubaba omncane wethu uSipho MLOTSHWA waseNewcastle wasitshela ukuthi hey, thina abafana bakaMLOTSHWA sinenkinga man. Osisi bayasithanda.
Yeah.
Noma sithi siyabaqelisa, hey sisi kodwa athi sisi kodwa PENUEL ngiyakuthanda ngithi hayi mawungithanda ke sisi nama into engayenza oza ke. No, sithwele kanzima man. Sorry to the ladies, sithwele kanzima. I don't think it's a looks thing. Osisi bayasithanda. Osisi bayasithanda.
Aha.
Noma wena bakuthanda?
Udisanda nomahlobo uthanda ubhuti angazi.
No bhuti bayasithanda.
In the DMs.
No bhuti bayasithanda.
From my side, just to keep it short, thank you so much, Buddha, man. We truly appreciate this.
Go in.
But we truly appreciate this. I think we spoke off air around just what you've done for the industry, what you've done for the black community, you know, and we've had giants like you that we've looked up to our whole lives. So, thank you so much just for this opportunity to chat with my brother like this. It's different for us, you know, because again, for us, it's extremely informal. You know, when we do have those spaces where we sit and we talk, and there's a bit, but the questions that you're asking had me thinking, oh snap, how do I see him? Have I ever communicated this with him? So I truly appreciate having this opportunity, and hopefully we'll do more of these.
I'm looking forward to the part 2. There's lots more things to talk about. I'm looking into us going for a full 2, if not 2.5 to 3 hours. We have to discuss everything from politics to sports. I actually want us to go in, but I'm testing. And you know how it is with television. Have you worked in television for many years?
Yeah.
Sure. I used to study a book called Isizulu Soqobo esikoleni. But Ingwichi Kwembu is to leave the story hanging and uhehe the audience to want more. That's why even in drama school or in storytelling school or wherever you guys study for filmmaking or for storytelling, they'll tell you, Guti, there has to be a certain way in how you leave the story hanging so the audience can want more. You can't discuss everything under the sun. So I just want to see their feedback so that at least then it gives us reason to come back again for another one. Because for me, he's such an interesting voice that I feel his voice, it's exactly what you're saying, Ella, his voice is needed in this alternative space that we're building, you and I. We're forming alliances with other guys who are in the space. We're creating relationships. And by the way, guys, it does mean if PENUEL has had this guest or PENUEL has been hosted on another platform, now those people are his friends and their views are his views. Now they're what he does outside of us doing work together, I don't know. You know, what I do outside of, he doesn't know. And it doesn't mean, though, that if you don't agree with some of our views, it means good manje kumele sibe ama enemies or kumele singathandani or kumele sikhanselane. I believe you learn from everyone, even people you do not agree with. We've seen that in the past. PENUEL has organized some brilliant interviews, like bringing the likes of Abu Ernst Roost to the platform. People I do not necessarily agree with their ideologies or some of how they've done things in the past, but bringing them closer and learning from them, certain things I didn't know because the media painted them to be this way.
Sure.
But now that they're closer to me, I'm starting to understand this person better. I start to understand more about what they're about. But I'm also learning more from this person that I might not necessarily agree with their political views. So the fact that you don't agree with an EFF person, a DA person, an ANC person, a Kaiser Chiefs person, a Christian person, an African spiritual leader, whatever, it doesn't mean you cannot learn from them. I think I want to leave it from there. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys for being so incredible to speak out on the internet and to not wait for fancy studios to just grab your phones and speak your mind. And I think he is definitely a necessary voice.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to seeing him grow.
Sure.
I'm glad that you've also been encouraging him to also start his platforms. And I think that's the reason I also want to start, lending a hand as well in helping his community grow or help expose him to our audiences as well and say, hey, it's not only this one, guys. If you thought Venus Williams was an amazing tennis player, wait until you see the younger one.
Jeez.
This is the younger one.
Which one is this one?
Which one is this one? Follow this one's social media platforms. What are they, bro? Where do we find you?
So you can find me on my YouTube channel, so PENSON MLOTSHWA. So hit me up, subscribe, like, notify, bell, all those nice things. Guys, we're learning together. We're growing. It's a journey. So if I'm doing something that you don't agree with, let me know. I can learn from you guys. You'll find me on Instagram, TikTok, PENSON MLOTSHWA. And yeah, guys, I'll follow back, and we'll just have those conversations.
Thank you. Last words, bro.
Sibusiso fethu siyabonga. I think you already know this. I think you are affirmed by many people. I hate walking in the streets with you so much. Ngoba asifiki la siyakhona. Sibuda. La ekse uphu Sibuda. Fuck off. Mina ngibuka ngibona iPA yaSibuda. Fuck. So a lot of, and I think I said this a bit earlier, a lot of young South Africans, especially men, didn't have older brothers and didn't have fathers. And the work you've been doing from back in the day is so immense. If we could quantify the value you've added in people's lives in quality, in money, I think you'd probably be one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest South African. From an impact perspective, where Intwana says, no pusha ngoba ngangibona uSibuda la. Ngaqala ukDJ ngoba ngabona uSibuda. Ngangena kwi-radio even though ivoice yami ngoba ngangizwa uSibuda. Ngangena ku-TV because of uSibuda usesha ama-podcast. So thank you, man, for being an older brother and a father to so many. And ungapheli umoya. There are people, you know this, you've been in the industry for a while, you've got very thick skin, and you keep shrugging it off. But ungapheli umoya, the attacks will keep coming. I'm learning that people like coming in and trying to break things up. Hey, you can't do Sbu. And you're like, sure, of course. And that's what happens with family. Hey, ubuti wakho says, I'm ufana nawe, usene channel na. And you're like, I can see energy and fear ngayo. But ngicela ungapheli umoya, ungapheli amandla. We need you, and you still have the baton for long, but I think you have a lot of batons, and you want us to run with you. And then hopefully in time we'll pass them on to the next generation, and we'll keep encouraging young people to be brave. The world has only been changed by young people. We are already too old. So the 18, 19-year-olds, the challenge is on you. You guys, we're waiting for you to school us. School us, we'll guide you where we can. If we have funds and those things will help. Outside of that, guys, you are our younger brothers, our younger sisters. Please come and ignite. Sbu was a young kid at some point. I was a young kid at some point. The world is yours. That's AKA, boy.
Love you, bro.
Easy.
Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you, Sbusiso.
Ngiyabonga mfowethu, ngiyakuthanda mfowethu. Thank you very
The mic
much.
just dropped itself.
Oh, it just dropped itself.
Snap.
Them MLOTSHWA brothers, go follow their social media platforms. He's got his own social YouTube channel, PENUEL, the Black Pen. Go follow the PENUEL show. The links are in the description. Go follow PENSON MLOTSHWA on all his social media platforms. What's the YouTube?
PENSON MLOTSHWA.
PENSON MLOTSHWA as well.
MLOTSHWA, yeah.
Okay, but not the Black Pen.
No. Coma,
So
black,
creative.
blue, no.
So you don't have any nothing.
Ngirati ngigama lami. Nginegama lakho Sbu.
Nami ngu-DJ Sbu. Yeah.
The virtual Mkuku, don't forget.
Virtual
Subscribe,
Mkuku.
like, share the virtual Mkuku as well.
We love you guys. We'll see you on the part 2. I'm looking forward to engaging the gents on more episodes, and we're looking forward to challenging PENSON to put in more work. Me and PENUEL will put in work online. We don't play. And once we go in, we don't play. He must keep up. He must put up those videos. PENUEL puts on minimum 5 videos a week online.
Minimum,
That's a
Baba.
minimum. 5 to 10 videos every week. So if he doesn't keep up,
We'll go,
he will be
we'll go.
left behind. Thank you, son.